Welcome forward with Jesus' Course in Miracles. This is page 38 and 39, but I'd like to start with the bottom of page 37 to maintain continuity. This communication is the will of God. Creation and communication are synonymous. God created every mind by communicating His mind to it, thus establishing it forever as a channel for the reception of His mind and will. Since only beings of a like order can truly communicate, His creations naturally communicate with Him and like Him. This communication is perfectly abstract, and that its quality is universal in application and not subject to any judgment, any exception, or any alteration. God created you by this and for this. The mind can distort its function, but it cannot endow itself with the function with functions it was not given. This is why the mind cannot totally lose the ability to communicate, even though it may refuse to utilize it on behalf of being. Existence as well as being rests on communication. Existence, however, is specific in how, what, and with whom communication is judged to be worth undertaking. Being is completely without these distinctions. It is a state in which the mind is in communication with everything that is real, including the soul. To whatever extent you permit the state to be curtailed, you are limiting your sense of your own reality, which becomes total only by your recognizing all reality and the glorious context of its real relationship to you. This is your reality. Do not desecrate it or recoil from it. It is your real home and your real temple and your real self. God, who encompasses all being, nevertheless created beings who have everything individually, but who want to share it increases their joy. Nothing that is real can be increased except by sharing. This is why God created you. Divine abstractions take joy in application, and that is what creation means. How, what, and to whom are irrelevant, because real creation gives everything, since it can create only like itself. Remember that in the beginning there is no difference between having and being, as there is in existence. In the state of being, the mind gives everything always. The Bible repeatedly states that you should praise God. This hardly means that you should tell Him how wonderful He is. He has no ego with which to accept such thanks, and no perception with which to judge such offerings. But unless you take your part in the creation, His joy is not complete because yours is incomplete. And this He does know. He knows it in His own being and its experience of His Son's experience. The constant going out of His love is blocked when His channels are closed, and He is lonely when His mind He creates do not communicate fully with Him. God has kept your kingdom for you, but He cannot share His joy with you until you know it with your whole mind. Even revelation is not enough, because it is communication from God. It is not enough until it is shared. God does not need revelation returned to Him, which would clearly be impossible. But He does want revelation brought to others. This cannot be done with the actual revelation because its content cannot be expressed, and it is intensely personal to the mind which receives it. It can, however, still be returned by that mind through its attitudes to other minds, which the knowledge from the revelation brings. God is praised whenever any mind learns to be wholly helpful. This is not impossible without being wholly harmless, because the two beliefs coexist. The truly helpful are invulnerable because they are not protecting their egos, so that nothing can hurt them. Their helpfulness is their praise of God, and He will return their praise of Him, because they are like Him, and they can rejoice together. God goes out to them and through them, and there is a great joy throughout the kingdom. Every mind that is changed adds to this joy and its own individual willingness to share in it. The truly helpful are God's miracle workers, whom I direct until we are all united in the joy of the kingdom. I will direct you to wherever you can be truly helpful, and to whoever can follow my guidance through you. True rehabilitation. Every mind which is split needs rehabilitation. The medical orientation to rehabilitation emphasizes the body, while the vocational orientation stresses the ego. The team approach generally leads more to confusion than to anything else, because it too often misused as a way of exerting the ego's domination over other egos, rather than a real experiment in the cooperation of minds. Rehabilitation as a movement is an improvement upon the overt neglect of those in need of help, but it is often little more than a painful attempt on the part of the halt to lead the blind. The ego is likely to fear broken bodies because it cannot tolerate them. The ego cannot tolerate ego weakness, either without ambivalence, because it is afraid of its own weakness as well as the weakness of its chosen home. When it is threatened, the ego blocks your natural impulses to help, placing you under the strain of divided will. You may then be tempted to withdraw to allow your ego to recover and to gain enough strength to help again on a bias limited enough not to threaten your ego, but to give you joy. Those with broken bodies are often looked down on by the ego because of its belief that nothing but a perfect body is worth as its own temple. A mind that recoils from a hurt body is in great need of rehabilitation itself. All symptoms of hurt need true helpfulness, and wherever they are met with this, the mind that is so meets them heals itself. Rehabilitation is an attitude of praising God as He Himself knows praise. He offers praise to you, and you must offer it to others. The chief handicaps of the clinician lie in their attitudes to those whom their ego perceives as weakened and damaged. By these evaluations, they are weakened and damaged in their own helpfulness, and thus have set their own rehabilitations back. Rehabilitation is not concerned either with the ego's fight for control or its need to avoid and withdraw. You can do much on behalf of your own rehabilitation and that of others if, in a situation calling for your healing, you think of it that way. I am here only to be helpful. I am here to represent Christ who sent me. I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because He who sent me will direct me. I am content to be wherever He wishes, knowing He goes there with me. I will be healed as I let Him teach me to heal. And thus ends chapter 4.